Hey, it's Keith from Outlaw Speed Shop, and welcome to this episode. I'm doing a Wastelands style gasser for my buddy John Crutchfield, and he requested a gasser. So if you like the content, make sure you subscribe and don't forget to ring the bell. So yeah, he requested a gasser Wasteland style vehicle, and I had this one kicking around. I got a few of these. And I'm trying to keep this one fairly simple, and I was looking for a break from some of these big challenge builds I'm doing. And sometimes I like to just do wasteland videos. I know it's not super popular with a lot of you guys, but I got these parts from Bearcat Designs, which is not quite fully operational yet. There are samples. That's Howard over at Big Paw Garage and William Robinson, joint venture. And I get some parts from Camsell Designs. So I figured I'd throw a few things on. I'm not going crazy on this one. I try to keep things fairly simple once in a while. I don't go crazy. I do have some crazy builds coming up, and I do have another Gasland or Wasteland style video coming up. But first thing I do is I kind of go through all these parts, and I look and see what I have and what I can, sometimes at this point of the video, I have no clue what I'm doing. Or what I want to do. I kind of don't know what I'm doing either, but that's a different story. But yeah, I just kind of like start looking at stuff and figuring out what I'm going to use, how I'm going to use it, and see what kind of strikes me. I really don't have a plan 99% of the time on these builds. So the wheels from Bearcat Designs, I really love those, and touching them and figuring out, putting them up against the chassis and this particular chassis, I just thought they were going to work really, really well. So I'm going to use two different sizes, but they're going to work perfectly for what I'm trying to do. And granted, it starts life off as a gasser, and I'm not really going to keep that look, but in the end, these wheels seem to work the best size-wise for what I was trying to achieve. Nothing against the other ones. The other ones from Camsell Designs are awesome, and I can't wait to use those, and I'll probably use those in my next one. So also, he sent me a lift kit, the red piece that I'm kind of screwing with now, which is perfect. The kind of gives it that raised, rear end look, which is what I was after. And usually all I'll do is mount the axle underneath the chassis itself instead of through the chassis, and that gives me the lift that I'm looking for. This time I decided this was a perfect opportunity to use this and to get a little bit of a lift that I'm after. So as I'm going through, I'm looking for some other pieces as well, and the next, like I said, and I'm going to be completely honest, I did not put a lot of 3D printed parts on this as far as guns and weapons, and I didn't go crazy. I wanted to keep it simple. So the red piece in the wheels needed to be drilled out just a tad so it would fit on the rear differential and the axle and all that stuff. So I'm putting those on, and the only thing on the front, it worked out good because the actual everything fit perfectly. I just used a piece of axle wire, which is the piano wire 0.0, I'm not sure, 3.6 I think is what it is. But anyways, the red differential for the back that's going to lift it up is just a little bit narrow for this actual chassis. So all I got to do is maybe grind a 1/16 off of each side, and then a little bit down, just to get rid of the detail that was already there, because there's already a differential and rear end housing molded into the plastic. So I'm just going to grind that off. I'll file it smooth, and then it allows me to fit this piece perfectly on there. And it couldn't have worked any better. Once in a while, you get lucky. And what I find a lot of times is, as I said, I don't have a clue when I start these what I plan on doing. Sometimes you can look at it forever. Just start putting stuff, mocking it up and seeing what it's going to look like. Once you do that, then the inspiration just kind of comes, and it just all seems to fall together. So the only other piece I'm going to add initially, at least at this point, is a brush guard. And from Camsell Designs, I got like 5 to choose from, and I'm kind of playing around now to see what's going to work, what's not going to work, what strikes me. They'll all work, but again, I kind of go by what I feel like doing, what I think is going to look the best, and it's all subjective. But the pieces are really, really well done. I'm real happy with them. So because it's a Wasteland style project, I'm not going nuts. I'm just going to scuff up the paint a little bit with a Scotch-Brite pad and a little bit of 360 grit sandpaper, just to scuff it up and give the paint that I'm going to put on it something to bite into. So there are times where I will completely strip the paint, and that's okay. You don't have to do any of it. That's what's great about this style. It's kind of a no pressure. You can kind of do what you want. So at this point, this kind of struck me. It's like, hey, let's cut out the back of the actual wagon itself and see what that looks like. And I kind of mock it up here with a pen just to see, so I can get my lines fairly accurate. Again, it's a Wasteland style. You don't have to be 100% accurate like you're cutting a hole in the hood on a street rod, but I try to be somewhat accurate. And I don't necessarily break out a ruler, but I definitely try to make it as clean as possible. So I'll use my cutoff wheel for the two sides, and I didn't show it, but I use my jeweler's saw for the back piece, just because it's easier to get in there. And then, so I don't cut myself, I file, because I've done it, I file off all the rough edges, make it as smooth looking or feeling as I possibly can, so I don't have any rough edges. And that includes inside, because the metal does tend to peen into the inside. So again, if you watch any of my videos, I always fit things about 100 times. So I got another project I'm working on, and it had a Dodge Power Wagon with a gun set that came with it. I don't remember the name. I think it's Jada Toys. I'm not 100% sure. And I decided to use that gun to sit in the back, and it actually worked out really, really well. So I was mocking it up there. I got 3D printed mesh that also came from Bearcat Designs. So as soon as they launch, I'll make sure I make an announcement as well, officially, because it's really, really good stuff. So the windshield, obviously I'm not going to use the front, but instead of making panels for the side, because I wanted to cover up part of the back windows, I figured I would just glue the glass in and I'll paint over it, and that saves me from having to make a piece. But obviously, since I cut out and notched the back, I need to notch the glass as well. And that retains the side pieces and a place to glue on the front, and keeps it wide open. So again, I'm just going to use my cutoff disc, and pretty much all I'm doing is going to make some slices here. Plastic is very easy to cut, so it's not like it's a big deal. And obviously, if you're doing this, disclaimer, wear eye protection. You probably should use a vise. A lot of don't do what I do, I guess would be the mantra here. You don't, just kind of stay away from. Obviously, don't put it too close to your fingers like I am. I mean, there's 1,000 things I'm doing wrong here, so obviously that's why this channel is not for anybody, for kids. So you're using power tools and living on the wild side. But anyways, once all that's fit, I put the glass in and get it secure, so that way I can paint and do what I need to do. But overall, I had fun with this project. If you guys build cars, you know how frustrating it can be sometimes, and to just have something that's brainless and you can just sit down and have fun with, and no stress, man, it's worth it. And whether you guys like this video or style video or not, it's just, I have so much fun doing it. It's incredible. And it's such a, relaxation for me. Wicked Pissa Jar. Like I said, if you watched any of my recent videos, I started at 12,000. I'm going up to 14,000 subscribers. When I hit 14,000, I'm giving all these cars away to one subscriber, and it's more of a thank you to everybody. So what you're seeing is what's in there now, and I'm adding this week. I'm adding the Shelby Cobra Daytona Coupe with the Rail Riders. So somebody's going to get a pretty good prize here. So about 12.8, 12.7 as of this video. So we're getting there, about halfway to my goal before I can give it away. So as you saw, I use the Chaos Black paint, which I use all the time. I love it. It's a little expensive, but I love it. and I painted the chassis. I masked off some chrome parts of the actual interior and painted the interior, and then I painted the body. And right now, I'm going to make a little platform for me to mount my gun turret on, so that way, once it's all assembled, I can put it in, because you can't put it on beforehand because the actual body wouldn't fit over it. So this is, again, sometimes you have to think about how you're going to put stuff together. So the rest, a lot of this now is painting. And again, I tried to keep this fairly simple. I'm doing a little dry brush metallic. I'm going to paint some, it looks orange, but it's brown or tan seats. And sometimes it's the little details. You can't necessarily always see the inside of the cars very well, but if you add some color and detail and make things pop just a little bit, it makes a big difference. And it adds to the overall aesthetics of the car and pulls your eye towards certain things. So obviously I'm just going to, there's like a fuel tank in the back. I'm painting that red. Actually it's a orangey color. And then, no, that's red. I kind of forgot what I was doing there for a while. But these are all Citadel paints, and I use these on all my builds. I really enjoy them. Easy to work with, water-based, and you can thin them down with water if you want. So I'm painting the headers. I painted the valve covers. I did the lights, the directionals. You know, I'm doing some black wash in the grill to make it jump out and hit the details. I'm washing and kind of dirtying out the interior and some of the things I've painted, like the headers. So, and again, this is all subjective. You know, play around. You got nothing to lose. You know, just have fun with it. So I want to break up the black. I wanted to do at least one other color. So it was like the car was in a garage and two cars were put together to make one. So I decided to do the door and one fender blue, like it came off a different car. And I'm not going crazy. I'm only putting one coat. I'm not putting two. And, you know, it's just a matter of, again, doing what you think looks good. And that's the whole point of this hobby, is to just have fun. You know, I get caught up. I'm also doing a tailgate. I get caught up too. I get caught up in trying to do my next build and making it great, and you know, pushing the limits. And you know, my whole goal of this channel is to inspire people and to give people ideas to do their own stuff. I'm not trying to be the best. I don't care if I'm the best. Some of those guys from overseas in Indonesia, the ones that don't talk, that just play music, I mean, they're killing it. I love their builds. I'll never probably get to that level. So, but it's all about inspiration and having fun. Here I'm doing the Typhus Corrosion Rise of Rust combo, which I do on a lot of my builds. Stuff works amazing, gives a perfect look. You know, just, again, have fun. I cannot stress that enough. And if you're not having fun, you're doing it wrong, or you're putting too much pressure on yourself. There's no wrong way to do these. I want to thank my Patreon members. I've got a lot going on the Patreon page. I do premieres of a lot of these videos, like this one. Probably is the only one that I haven't, only because I'm doing it last minute. But other than that, I always launch my videos there first. I do monthly giveaways of a custom car, and I do a monthly giveaway for at least a 10-car set, and that's strictly for members. And I'll be adding, as the year goes on, I'll be adding more and more to the page as I get more organized. But I want to thank a huge thanks to all of them for supporting me. This is an expensive hobby, and they help offset it, and I can't thank them enough. So this is what we started with, which I think looks pretty cool, minus the chrome interior and the wheels. But it's a cool wagon. I like wagons. I have a soft spot in my heart for wagons, and it doesn't get any better than a GASSER wagon. So when John asked me to do this, I was more than happy to do so. And this is what I ended up with. Again, it's not over the top. It's pretty basic. I don't have all kinds of dents and armor plating and everything else. I just wanted this to be simple. So hopefully I achieved that. Hope you like it as a quick video. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one.